Welcome back to the show. Today, my good friend Jack and his twin brother are joining me, and we're going to spend some time working together. In all seriousness, I have two identical Wilmar 2.5 ton floor jacks, and one doesn't jack up very well, and the other one jacks up great. But if the handle's not up, when it gets way down here, you can't release it. It strips. And I got to thinking that if I was to take some parts from this one, which does release down here, and put them on that one, then maybe the two could make one good jack. I don't understand the quality of products these days. I've only had these since the 90s. They just don't make stuff to last anymore. It's very discouraging. But we're going to get into it today. I'm your host. My name is Mike, and this is Mike R's Shop. I had all kinds of clever ideas about what I was going to do to fix that and make it work. And I looked at this one and realized that the tooth engagement is just so much better. And I thought, maybe, but maybe not, we could take this gear and this gear off of this one and put it on that one. And then these we could set aside for a while and at some point modify them so we could make them work on this jack. So what I'm thinking is, because this handle, this is the one I've used the most, this handle's falling apart, the pin's falling out, we may just take the whole handle assembly off of this one and put it on this one, and then again take the gear over there. So let's see what we can accomplish and find out if indeed these are exactly the same, or if they're the same thing, only different. All right, so I guess that came apart fairly easy. The spring is detensioned or something like that. Detensioned, it's like school, I don't know. So we're going to do the same thing over here. My biggest concern is that the threads and so forth aren't the same as far as the spline size or whatever's under there on that gear. And if that's the case, we may have issues, and I don't have tissues, but I don't know. That's part of this, is just figuring it out. Well, that took longer than it had any right to take. So here's where we ended up. This gear off of this one wouldn't work over there. That gear is actually a larger diameter. I measured it. It's like 3/16 of an inch bigger around. So we have the most engagement of anything with that inner gear and this one. So that's good, but that means this jack right now is completely disabled, which doesn't break my heart any. At least we have one good floor jack here, I hope. We're going to take it over to Fat Fanny here and make sure it works all the way down. But again, what happened was, when you would take it down like this under the car, you couldn't release it because the teeth were so stripped. But that released by itself now, so I think we're going to be okay. It doesn't feel 100% copacetic, but I think it's going to be good enough for now, because I couldn't do that before. It would just go. So this one's out of commission until I re-engineer and probably machine some parts to make it work. But I do need to think about whether or not I'm even going to mess with it, or I'll just leave this one set aside for parts, because the hydraulic cylinder in this one doesn't work real well anyway. It's super, super slow jacking up. So sometimes it takes two to make one. Let's try it out under Fat Fanny and see what happens. Okay, here we go. I forgot how low this car is. That drop axle is way the heck low. That won't fit under there, but I can put it under the front spring perches. So let's try that. Okay, that works. I couldn't tighten it there before like that. That's the joy of these low cars. I'm hitting that bumperette with the jack. And when your jack won't go down, then I would have to take a screwdriver in here and release it. And Mark was just here the other day, and we had to slide the back of this car around, and that was no fun, getting under there. Dad's been here when I've had to do that. So with my issues that I've had over the last couple of weeks, crawling around on floors and stuff like that is not conducive. So, all right, let's see if she releases way down here like this. This is the worst case scenario. Okay, it strips there, but it's good. So, okay, all the way down it does strip, but up here that much it's fine, and I'm good with that. There's almost no situations where I have to have the handle all the way down like this to release it. So 80% improvement is much better than no improvement at all. So much winning. Thanks, Jack. I appreciate you joining me today. I appreciate you letting us sacrifice your cousin so that we could, your twin brother, whatever it was, so that we could get you going again. This is actually the very first floor jack I bought. I think I paid $150 for it sometime around 1990. It was when I had my auto repair shop. I bought this one, and then shortly after, I bought that one. That one, the cylinder started acting up not long after I got it. This one, the gear mechanism only started acting up maybe 10 years ago. I don't know. So they've had it's more use than you could shake a stick at. I don't know why you'd want to be shaking a stick at it, but they have, is my point. And that's just, kind of a reality of my car shop. We don't like spending money, partly because we don't have much to spend, but also I have learned that frugality makes your dollars go much further. Can I live with one floor jack? For a while, yes. There's times I do need to. We may just end up upgrading and replacing that one and leaving that one be for parts for this one. I may end up re-engineering it. I could rebuild the cylinder. It's the trade-off of, do I want to spend time at it or throw some cash at it? Right now I don't have the cash to throw at it, but I know that Harbor Freight has some decent jacks for $80 and $90. They're not the real cheap ones. I don't expect that they're going to last like this one has for, what is that, let's say 1990 is when I got it, to 2024. There's maths. That's 34 years. I don't think for the money they owe me much of anything. I bought these. I bought 4 jack stands, and there was one other lifting device I bought way back in the days when I opened R&R Ventures. This stuff has served me super well. It's Wilmar brand. I don't even know if they're still in existence. I don't know who made Wilmar or if Wilmar made it. I don't remember. It's been so long, but I got it right through my local Auto Value Auto Parts. I think they were Auto Value. I feel like they weren't Auto Value back then. I think they changed a couple times after I bought this. It was always the same. It was McMahon Auto Supply in Cass City, Michigan. I bought this stuff from Brian and Linda way back in the day when they had the business. They've sold it a long time ago now. But anyway, a little history on my good friend Jack. I haven't said anything on the channel up till now, but I feel like I kind of owe you guys a bit of an explanation. Not that I feel like I owe you anything, but I just want to. Part of the reason Mark was here the other day to help me get the shop under control is I've been laid up now for a couple of weeks with a back problem. Been trying to do the very minimums, and Mark said, "Hey, I know your back's out. Why don't I come up and help you get a handle on things again? Because I can't lift anything." And I'm doing a little bit better. I can actually walk. Riding in the car is just a killer, but I'm a little bit more mobile. Getting from in and out of the car is hard to walk. Standing up off this stool is hard to walk. I look like, I don't know, I'm all stooped over and bent over, but I can get straightened out and I can move around. I just have to be super careful. We have been, for the last several weeks when I've been mobile, we have been cutting down trees and trimming trees and cutting branches and just cleaning up the whole north and northwest side of our property. And I think I overdid it. I was sitting in my office chair a couple weeks ago working, and all of a sudden my back went kapow! And I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I couldn't fall out of the chair. And I thought, oh, I just broke my back sitting in a chair. And eventually I was able to breathe again, and I was able to basically crawl out of there and try and go over and stretch my back out and so forth. And I'm doing tons better. I've been through this before. It's been a long time. I know what I got to do. Everything's fine. Things on schedule, except for when I stepped in a pothole the other day in the yard and wrenched it a little bit. So there's been that setback. I don't normally like to share my stuff like that, but I do feel like I wanted to share with you why I have not been doing a lot more really heavy duty hands-on stuff. I think the next things I'm going to try to do is going to be doing some mill work. I've been gathering some stuff up for that. I just need to get a little raw materials. I've got a fun little project I want to do with you guys on the mill. And then we're going to also talk about how to do that same project if you don't have a mill. So good stuff as far as I'm concerned. Good DIY stuff that can be done no matter what your skill level is to a point, and definitely no matter what your equipment level is. So we'll get to that maybe the next thing I film, although I think in the queue next is a Talk About It Tuesday. So that's going to be fun as well. All right, I need to hang it up for the day. But little bites, little bites, little bites. We just did something that honestly is probably going to save me time, because what was going to eventually happen is these fabricated fascias, I won't even call them bumpers, bumperettes. I could just see what was going to eventually happen, as the car was going to end up coming down on the jack, and we were going to end up bending or cracking something, and I was going to end up having to redo it. So this is, to me, is not just a little bite. This is a massive bite. So here's my challenge to you guys. What stuff do you have around the shop that doesn't work right, but you have something else that you could use to improve it, even if you had to sacrifice one piece of equipment to make one really good piece of equipment? So instead of having two mediocre pieces, you could have one good piece. Think about the stuff you have around that you could do that with, and take a bite and improve your circumstance and your situation, because that is important. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Jack thanks you too. You're going to see a lot more use with him. Obviously, we will get that other one fixed or replaced, hopefully soon. We do need to have a couple of these around the shop. It's important. So, all right, that'll do it for this one. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate your understanding. I'm hoping to get back to the good stuff real soon. Fat Fanny's in here for a reason. I have stuff I want to be doing on this car real soon. So watch for that as well. Of course, the GTS, and I got stuff to do on the Charger, and we got all kind of stuff going on here in the shop. All right, catch you on the next one. Oh yeah, don't forget. Rock!